Coming up on KUJH News, a dive into the new KU Student Senate budget cuts, a look inside a new hidden study spot, and what students were up to during this past snow day.
Live from the studio in Stauffer Flint at the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.
Good morning and welcome back to KUJH News. I'm Sydney Clark.
And I'm Charlotte James.
With the new federal government cracking down on immigration, there have been sightings of ICE showing up to schools in the Kansas City area. Lawrence Public Schools sent out information to families surrounding the situation, and KUJH reporter Jonah Kahn has the latest.
According to Interim Superintendent Dr. Janice Kerswift, ICE agents have not shown up to any Lawrence Public School. And even if they tried to, ICE agents cannot walk into any public school without clearance. This is after a new policy in January that allows enforcement actions to be taken at churches and schools. However, access to education for students K through 12 is a constitutional right, regardless of immigration status of the students or their parents.
Those officers at the door would need to present their documents, and that would occur down at the superintendent's office.
The documents would be reviewed and determine if ICE agents are allowed to enter a school. Teachers and staff received an email with information about laws and resources that help protect students. Parents received a similar letter detailing the devotion the district has to its students.
Families that show up in Lawrence Public Schools are welcome here, and we want them to feel safe.
Dr. Swift mentioned another important aspect. The school district will not release any information about any student.
Our families trust us with the most important thing, their children. And so we owe that commitment to our children.
Both Jones and Swift emphasize that amidst all the concerns, the main focus is the student. The district believes in equity and wants students to feel welcomed when they walk through the doors each morning. For KUJH, Jonah Kahn.
Thanks, Jonah. That is important information to share from the Lawrence Public Schools for families to know during a time where these families might be fearful of the unknown.
Sam is here in the studio to review our snow day yesterday. Sam, how's it looking out there?
Thank you, Charlotte. The snow system actually underperformed compared to what the initial forecasts had predicted, largely because the system moved faster than we thought, leading to the snow showers being overhead for a shorter period of time. Here in Lawrence, the maximum measurement was 3.9 inches. Topeka got the most for the surrounding area at 4.2, and Kansas City got 2.8, a little bit south of downtown. And looking outside, you can see all 3.9 inches of that snow on the ground right now, and well, there will not be a lot of melting at all over the next week or so. If you've been outside at all this morning, you will know that it is 12 degrees outside and feels like 8. This frigidly cold weather thanks to that wind out of the west right now at 4 miles an hour. Coming up in a little bit, I will talk about precipitation chances for tomorrow and Saturday, as well as a continued Arctic cold air and more snow chances coming up next week. Charlotte?
Thanks, Sam. No matter how bad the weather was, I think we were all glad to have a snow day yesterday. A speech and language pathologist at Prairie Park Elementary School is accused of sexually assaulting at least 2 students. 60-year-old Mark Gridley was arrested on February 10th after parents called the police to inform them about an incident involving a student and Gridley. Police are still investigating to see if there are additional victims. A judge set Gridley's jail bond at $1.5 million. The number on your screen below is a hotline to call if your parents have a concern regarding the investigation.
The newly proposed budget from the Student Senate on how the yearly student fees will be dispersed is causing extreme uproar on campus. This comes after the Senate Fee Committee, a subgroup of Student Senate, reviews the required student fees for the Lawrence and Edward campuses and decides where the money should go. One of those cuts being to cut the University Daily Kansan budget. I got a chance to sit down with the editor-in-chief of the Kansan on what this means for the future of the UDK. A paper that has been for students and by students for 120 years is now facing a significant 80% budget cut from the Student Senate. The University Daily Kansan is a student-run newspaper that considers itself the voice of the University of Kansas. Just this past August, the Kansan started paying 16 of its staff members $12.50 an hour. This came after the Senate approved an increase in their allocated money.
It's done wonders for my staff.
Courtney Lane is the editor-in-chief of the paper and says that being able to get paid for their work has taken a heavy amount of stress off of having to juggle another job. Before that, the turnover rate at the UDK was hindering the paper's success.
Barely. We were barely surviving.
And what's at stake for the Kansan is eliminating those 16 paid positions. And the proposed budget cut would take the current $3.64 and cut it by over half, by $2.89, leaving the Kansan with only 75 cents per student, making those paid positions volunteer-based again. And the community has been rallying behind the Kansan, with its signed petition having over 7,490 signatures since being posted just this Monday. Students also took a stand at the KU men's basketball game this Tuesday by creating and holding up signs to show support for the UDK.
It means the world that people do still really care about journalism, and they do care about student journalism. And in this day and age, like, to see that, speechless.
Since the proposed budget didn't pass last night at the Finance Council meeting, they will vote again at the end of the month on the proposed budget. If it passes, it will then go to the General Assembly on March 5th. For KUJH News, I'm Sydney Clark. I reached out to the student body president, Danae Estebine, and she said no specifics on the conversation of deliberation from fee review can be disclosed.
Sydney, this sounds like a pretty complicated process with a lot of checks and balances in place.
Yeah, Charlotte, there's a lot that goes into approving the yearly budget, and last night in a public meeting, the fee committee went over those cost changes, but ultimately can't offer its reasoning to the Kansan for that significant budget cut because it's classified. The budget was voted on and it didn't pass, so now it goes back to the fee committee for more review.
And there will be a Senate General Assembly meeting next Wednesday, where the Kansan will voice their concerns to the whole council. With spring semester in full swing, KU students face a common frustration: parking. KUJH's Delaney Gregory dives into how this struggle is impacting students' daily lives.
If you've ever struggled to find a parking spot on KU's campus, you're not alone. With a growing student population and recent changes in parking lot policies, finding a spot has been a daily battle for KU students and staff.
I have the yellow pass. I find the parking lots are very crowded in the mornings, and I've witnessed almost a lot of accidents. So,
while KU does offer multiple parking permits for purchase, the university parking websites warn students that even with the permit, your preferred lot may be full, forcing students to find alternate lots, rely on buses, or risk arriving late to class.
Yeah, I've been like 30 minutes late because I've had to park it all the way at my sorority house and then walk to campus.
Recent changes to parking policies have made things even more challenging. In lots 50 and 52 near JRP and Carith O'Leary, 37 parking spaces were converted from yellow to red, limiting student parking even further.
They took away a lot of parking spots at JRP, and now I can't get a parking spot when I have class, and I don't like it.
With parking lots shrinking and frustration growing, students are left with limited options. With no solution in sight, the daily KU parking struggle isn't going away anytime soon. For KUJH News, I'm Delaney Gregory.
KU students are left facing a daily challenge, with the student population growing and the parking lot shrinking. We'll continue to follow this story until students' questions are answered. Still ahead, we'll give you a look into the upcoming forecast and a way to keep warm.
You may not hear it at first, but it's there. Our chant, rising. On this summit, callings converge, voices unify into a chorus that sounds out for good, for greatness. Can you hear it?
Welcome back.
Sam is here to tell us more about the upcoming forecast and what you can expect later this week.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Sydney. Taking a look at the current surface map right now, the system that brought us all that snowfall is now well up to our northeast and the far northeastern states and southeast Canada. The draping cold front from that's bringing some severe weather to South Georgia and northern Florida as we speak. Meanwhile, here in Kansas, high pressure is once again dominating our weather. But I have my eye on this system over California and Nevada right now that is going to move our way and could bring us some rain chances, maybe some ice on Saturday. I'll get more into that though in just a few minutes. Looking at temperatures right now, mostly in the low to mid-teens. Here in Lawrence sitting at 13, Paola 16, Topeka the coolest of the surrounding areas there at 11. Looking at satellite, have clouds off to our west, clouds off to our east. But the white you see here overhead is just from the snowfall that fell over the last 36 to 48 hours. Going through the afternoon, be up to 22 at 2 p.m., reach a high around 24 at 4, then cool quickly off back down into the teens come 8 p.m. for this evening. Now the high 24 today is a good 20 plus degrees below average, and we did set a new daily record low temperature of -5 earlier this morning. Overnight tonight, not going to drop down nearly as low as -5, just down to -15. The winds will start to pick up out of the south. Good news is those south winds will warm up our temperatures for Valentine's Day. Partly cloudy tomorrow, high of 42. There will be some strong wind gusts up to 37 miles an hour out of the southeast. And there is a chance for a wintry mix. It'd be about 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Will not be anything heavy. I'd lean more on the rain side myself for the time being. Similar story Saturday, high of 39, be some breezy winds as well. Overcast with a greater chance of rain tomorrow, probably in the early afternoon hours. Then just as quick as we ramp the temperatures back up, you drop down again, down to 18 degrees for a high on another gusty day on Sunday. Taking a look at some basketball forecasts, the men's team will be taking a pretty extended trip out to Utah. For the game against the University of Utah on Saturday, be 29 at tip-off at 9 p.m. in Salt Lake. Then against BYU on Tuesday, 32 degrees, and they cannot escape the snowfall, unfortunately, as it'll be snowing over in Provo for that game on Tuesday. Taking a look at our 7-day forecast, again, have the high of 24 today, warm back up to 42 tomorrow with that chance for, I'd say, wintry mix. I couldn't count out the chance for a little bit of freezing rain or snowfall tomorrow afternoon. It all depends on how quickly the temperatures ramp up above freezing. Again, similar story Saturday, high of 39. And then as we move back into next week, the cooler temperatures return. And there is a chance for more snow Monday night through Tuesday. I'll break down those details in just a few minutes. Sydney?
Thank you, Sam. I know I will be trying my best to keep warm. And seems like KUJH News reporter Lauren Ritchie might have just the way, a new coffee shop that just opened on Haskell's campus.
Haskell Indian Nations University has recently opened a coffee shop in the heart of its campus. Cedar and Sage Cafe is serving its wide menu variety to students, staff, and the campus community.
From pastries to a sweetheart swirl and everything in between, this is your new one-stop shop on campus.
This cafe provides student workers with a hands-on learning environment, gaining practical experience in customer service, pricing, menu development, and many other skills. Student barista worker Canyon Alexander talks about the culture behind the cafe.
So I'm a barista here at Cedar and Sage Cafe. We make sandwiches, we make drinks, we talk to people, we cultivate kind of this nice environment for students to come and hang out, faculty too, and just enjoy the space.
For students like Connie, the cafe is a benefit for all.
It's a lot more convenient for people who may not have their own cars to go to like Starbucks or somewhere in town. And it's just right there and here, so people can come here before or in between classes. It's just really nice.
If you haven't already checked it out, Canyon has a message for you.
I say you should have already been here. This is the spot. This is the lick. Like, you got to come through and check us out.
Cedar and Sage Cafe is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., with all proceeds directly benefiting students, including wages for the student workers and providing supplemental funding for student activities. For KUJH News, I'm Lauren Ritchie.
Thanks, Lauren. I know I love anything strawberry, so that strawberry swirl happened to catch my eye. Charlotte, what's the first thing you're going to try on that menu?
I'm a big sandwich girl, personally. Yeah,
you can't go wrong with a good
exactly.
sandwich.
I'm a BLT girl, but I could go with anything, really.
Well, we'll have to try it out next time.
Absolutely.
After the show.
With that treat is also a good pair, a studying session. KUJH's Ashley Updike tells us more about a cozy new study space you'll want to check out. If you're looking for a unique new study space that will keep you warm during the winter months, you might want to check out this greenhouse located in Hayworth Hall. Greenhouses A through C are used for research, but over the last year, greenhouse manager Dan Ruffing has converted Greenhouse D into a cozy study space.
It's been really nice to see people get up here and just get to use how comfortable the space is, how nice and warm it is, how quiet it is, and kind of so much different than at normal study spaces throughout the university.
The space has multiple desks, tables, and chairs for students to set up a workspace. There's even a hammock that students can lay in to get comfortable while studying. The space has recently been used for class tours and faculty meditation classes, but Ruffing has been trying to spread the word about his space to students of all majors.
A lot of people just appreciate the unique place to kind of chill at and decompress.
The greenhouse is located in room 3014 inside Hayworth Hall, and it can be a little difficult to find. Once you enter the door at room 3014, walk down the hallway and turn right, where you'll see more doors to enter the rooftop greenhouses. Walk to Greenhouse D to find the study space.
I think a lot of students are disconnected from nature, especially in the winter, so it's just the prime spot to hang out or study. I'd say this is my favorite place on campus to go study.
The greenhouse is available for all students, faculty, and staff to come in between the hours of 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. during the week. For KUJH News, Ashley Updike. Thanks, Ashley. I love the idea of studying in a refreshing place. I will definitely be checking this spot out.
Looking ahead, we've got a look at KU Baseball's new turf.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back to KUJH Sports. I'm Lauren Ritchie. Last week we previewed some of the sports betting that would take place during Sunday night's Super Bowl game. This week, Jenna Zare has everything you need to know about some of the bets that took place as well as the results.
Sports betting has taken over professional sports, with Americans placing more than $121 billion in sports bets in 2024 alone.
I think it probably depends on who you are and what kind of a bankroll you have. It's definitely a lot of people who do it for fun, college kids, hanging out, placing a couple dollars on a bet or $50, and then there's also people who go to Vegas and place $100,000 on a game.
According to the American Gaming Association, fans are wagering on everything from team and player performances, stats, schedules, injuries, and even little movements within the game.
The betting trends I reserved were Chiefs offense mostly. I was focused on the Chiefs offense because we were expected to do so well. Obviously, that's not how it played out, but that's where I was looking before the game and after, just so I can know what I can do better next time.
In Nevada, sportsbooks reported over $151 million in Super Bowl wagers, covering every aspect of the game. Fans drove the biggest in-game handle for Super Bowl ever, with heavy bets on a Chiefs comeback in that second quarter. In the end, Super Bowl 59 turned out to be a solid result for sportsbooks. With sports betting now a major part of the fans' experience, it's clear that the Super Bowl isn't just about football anymore. It's about the excitement that gambling brings.
It's definitely a social thing and definitely something that people talk about all the time. You sit down about to watch a game and you always ask your friends, hey, what do you got on the game? What are your props?
For KUJH, I'm Jenna Zare.
Thanks, Jenna. I'm glad I stayed away from any sort of bets over the weekend, especially with my luck. From one field to another, Kansas baseball is set to open its season tomorrow as they will take on Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Our very own Tyler Bermundo is there right now and gives us a preview of what to expect. Tyler, how's it going?
Thanks, Lauren. I'm live out here in Corpus Christi at Whataburger Field, where the baseball team is getting ready for opening day tomorrow. They have a practice here Thursday after a long travel day on Tuesday. We left at about 1 o'clock to beat the winter storm out in Lawrence, Kansas, and finally made it to Corpus Christi around 11 o'clock at night. The team is scheduled to face Texas A&M Corpus Christi Friday at 5 o'clock for the home opener of the 2025 season, and then they're scheduled to play games Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And this is one of the longest trips of the year for the Jayhawks, as they are headed to Stevensville, Texas, on Thursday to play Tarleton State and then play a 3-game series before going home to Lawrence on Sunday the 23rd. That means the baseball team is going to be out in Texas for about 12 days before making it home. The guys are sure had a great time in the hotel, getting used to the catered meals, and are really, really excited for the upcoming season. At Corpus Christi, it's the home of the Astros AAA affiliate, and it's really one of the nice fields the guys are going to play at. For KUJH Sports, I'm Tyler Ruda. Thank you, Lauren.
Thanks for joining with us, Tyler. You've got the elite baseball weather over there. Well, we're still stuck here with some snow. Now over at Hoagland Ballpark, there was a major upgrade during the offseason. Out with the old and in with the new. Lindsay Ryan had the chance to learn more about this project.
Spring season. The turf company Mammoth worked with KU and the team to get the new installment in within just 2 weeks.
This one was pretty easy. I mean, with it being existing synthetic turf that was already on the field, we just had to go in, take off the existing turf surface, bring in some additional rock for some low spots that were on the field, get it regraded, and then put in the new system.
There are special new details across the new field, including several Kansas logos.
The logo, the outfield logo, is probably one of the biggest that we've done. I mean, it was 136 feet wide by 114 feet tall.
And while the details are visually appealing, both the players and coaches are most excited for the new pace the turf brings.
I like the new turf. I like how slow it is compared to last year. Last year, I think it was graded the fastest turf in the country. So there's way too many ground balls getting through, and I think this will definitely help.
Head coach Dan Fitzgerald is pleased with the final outcome.
The last few weeks that we've been on it, it's been fantastic. It plays really true, very much like a grass field. It's gorgeous, and Mammoth did a fantastic job. And again, another piece of the build.
Kansas will get to play their first home game on the new turf on February 27th against Omaha. With new turf, new uniforms, and a new video board, the program continues to grow and will be exciting to watch this season. For KUJH Sports, I'm Lindsay Ryan.
Thanks, Lindsay. A lot of exciting changes for the baseball team. And now it's time for a rapid-fire update on our Kansas sports teams. Up first, the men's basketball team got back in the win column on Tuesday night after defeating new conference member Colorado. They will head up to Utah this weekend, where they will face Utah on Saturday night, followed by BYU on Tuesday night. The women's basketball team is coming off a tough 3-game losing streak, but will be back at home this Saturday as they are set to host the Iowa State Cyclones with tip at 4 p.m. The softball team opened up its season in last week's Paradise Classic tournament, where they finished 1-4. They are back in action this weekend for the Long Beach State Tournament in Long Beach, California, with 2 games tomorrow and 1 on Saturday. The swim and dive team is back home to compete in the Jayhawk First Chance happening tomorrow and Saturday inside Robinson Natatorium. The tennis team hits the road for a match against Old Dominion tomorrow in Richmond, Virginia, followed by Clemson on Sunday in South Carolina. The men's golf team will open up its spring season in La Quinta, California for the Prestige Tournament. It's an all-day match beginning next Monday and wrapping up on Wednesday the 19th. The men's and women's track and field teams will travel down to Fayetteville, Arkansas for the Tyson Invite happening tomorrow and Saturday. There's a lot of sports going on here right now, and if you want all the updates, head over to our website at KUJHNews.com. Coming up, we take a look at all the activities that happened during a snow day here at KU, some Valentine's Day content, and more. We'll be back.
National champions deserve a clean campus. Don't wait for other Jayhawks to pick up your mess. Keep the University of Kansas clean.
Welcome back. Sam is here one last time to give us a look at possible chances of rain next week.
Yeah. Thank you, Sydney. Really briefly before I get into that, I wanted to mention the weather down in Corpus Christi for the baseball games Tyler told us all about. And man, I am very jealous of the weather that the baseball team is going to have down there in Texas. 54 at first pitch of the game tomorrow, 68 Saturday, 60 Sunday, 63 Monday. Winds can play a factor, especially Sunday with the winds of the north at 13 miles an hour. Now we're going to get into the precipitation chances next couple of days. Tomorrow, probably not going to be much. I'd lean more on the rain side, a tiny shower or two in between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Similar story on Sunday, could be a little bit more higher precipitation amounts. And I'd lean more on the rain side with areas up north getting more snow. And then now probably the bigger system looks to be late Monday night into Tuesday morning. This one's been trending up last couple of days. It is still multiple days out, so things will change. But this looks like it could bring us a couple inches of snow Monday into Tuesday through next week. It could impact classes. I'll keep an eye on how that all trends for you over the next couple of days. Sydney?
Thanks, Sam. Looks like it will be a cold week ahead of us. Students, make sure to keep warm. KUJH's Charlie Ann Ortiz got the chance to chat with Academy Award-winning filmmaker and KU professor, Emeritus Kevin Wilmot. The Kevin Wilmot Film Festival will take place at Liberty Hall, right here in Lawrence, Kansas, next week, February 18th through the 21st. 4 of Wilmot's festival films will be shown, 1 per day.
These are my independent films that I made here in the area, in Lawrence and Kansas City. And so there are 4 of those films, and one a night. I believe they're showing Jayhawkers in the afternoon,
Yes.
but the others are in the evening. And so it'll be a great chance for people that have not seen some of my movies to check them out.
The schedule goes Tuesday the 18th, Destination Planet Negro. Wednesday, The Only Good Indian. Thursday, Jayhawkers. And the last day, Friday the 21st, CSA, the Confederate States of America. Make sure to get your tickets and visit our website for more information.
After receiving reports of 6 inches of snow, the Lawrence area could get up to the University of Kansas canceled all classes for Wednesday due to weather. Let's take a look at how students reacted.
What's up, Jayhawks? Classes are canceled today and we're taking full advantage of it.
That's right. The University of Kansas made the executive decision to cancel classes for Wednesday, February 12th, and we're here to see what students are doing.
After the announcement was made, students were ecstatic to have a day off.
I was sitting in ethics class and the whole class started cheering. It was a great time. Everyone has been very happy about it.
Whether students decided to catch up on homework or sleep, the snow day also gave students the opportunity to enjoy the snow. The Campanile Hill brought many students together, from sledding to snowboarding and even skiing. The hill shared lots of laughs.
While not everyone had time to go out and buy a sled, students got creative with it.
And we've seen like mattresses and trash cans.
And stop signs.
Stop signs. Stop signs.
For Kansas residents, seeing snow is quite expected, but for others, today was quite rare.
And where's Nick? He's never sledded before, so this is his first time.
I've seen snow like twice in my life, maybe.
The hill wasn't the only thing busy. Many of the bars in Lawrence opened their doors for students to enjoy their time away from school.
Bars like Bullwinkle's and Hawk Tavern were busy since early afternoon, with students turning the day off into a chance to celebrate.
Whether it was sledding or staying warm at local bars, KU students made the most of the snow day. For KUJH News, I'm Delaney Gregory.
And I'm Lexi Urban.
Thanks, Lexi and Delaney. With more winter weather in the forecast, students may get another chance to enjoy the snow. Stay safe and warm, Jayhawks.
Love is in the air, and Jayhawks are getting ready to celebrate with Valentine's Day tomorrow. KUJH's Annabelle DeFord talked to students about their plans and how they felt about certain Valentine's Day hot takes. Well, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Charlotte, do you have anything fun planned for tomorrow?
Well, plans are still up in the air a little bit. I don't necessarily have a Valentine, so might hang out with my roommate, might go hang out with some friends. We'll see, though. But what about you?
Just going to have a good old-fashioned Galentine's for
love to hear
Valentine's.
it.
Yeah. Well, that's all we have for you this morning. You can check out KUJH on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram for exclusive content, and keep up to date on the latest stories at KUJHNews.com. I'm Sydney Clark.
And I'm Charlotte James. KUJH News will be back next Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Have a great day.